You are now listening to WSN, the Wolf Sports Network.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
Home of the hottest takes and the best interviews in college radio.
Hold on, wait a minute. We need a little more energy. This is Sports Pack. Yeah, there we go.
Home of the hottest takes and debates.
There is no way I'm going to sit here and roll with Jared Stidham and Aiden O'Connell.
Richard.
There's just no way.
And the best interviews in college radio.
This is five-time Olympic medalist Alana Myers-Taylor.
This is Super Bowl champion quarterback Brad Johnson, and you're listening to Sports Pack on the Wolf Sports Network.
You know what time it is. Wolves Country.
Let's ride. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Appalachia High School and all those affected.
Welcome in to this year's second episode of Sports Pack. I am your host, Richard Reed, as always joined by Carlie Pear, Jackson Schrader, and John Howley.
What's going on?
Ready to win it this year's second episode. Oh, by the way, before we really get rolling, don't get used to us only going live on Thursdays, because starting back this Monday, we'll once again be live from 6 to 7 on Mondays and Thursdays. Don't forget, y'all, Sports Pack comes on twice a week. So don't get used to this new format. That's my last time I'm going to say it. Be ready. We'll be back on here Monday. But for tonight, we got some big-time West Georgia sports to get into as your West Georgia Wolves this past weekend took down the Samford Bulldogs at Rayland Field to win our first ever Division I game of the Joel Taylor era. Well, really our first D1 game, period, but also our first game in the head coach Joel Taylor era. It was beautiful. The game was fantastic. We didn't have an opportunity to talk about it on Monday because we didn't have a show Monday. But we're gonna talk about it a little bit now. We were all at the game.
Yep.
Carlie did the first ever West Georgia ESPN Plus sideline reporter. How about a round of applause for that?
Let's
Come
go.
on, we had tons of benchmarks on benchmarks. We were making history all over because she was the first one to ever do it. And then just put the cherry on top. We went there and took the fight to Samford. A lot of people, us in the station included, thought Samford was going to come in and get it done. We expected a competitive game in the first half, but we thought it was going to kind of get away. Samford was going to show why they've been D1 for so long. Yeah, this, yeah, that. But no, that didn't happen. This West Georgia Wolves team came and put foots where the sun don't shine. They got it done. The game was beautiful, and the fireworks show after, fantastic. I was about to move on, but let me say this as well. The turnout was also incredible. I can get used to that. I have never seen the stadium at West Georgia be that full before. It was beautiful. If we can get that kind of turnout for every single game and then double it for homecoming,
oh, baby.
I'd be a happy man. But we also got a big-time game coming up this weekend as your West Georgia Wolves are flying out to Texas. Yeah, we getting flown out. Going out to Texas to take on Abilene Christian. A team who last week had a heck of a ball game against Texas Tech where they lost 52-51 in overtime. Carlie, I'm going to throw it to you first. We have a big-time game this week in our first in-conference FCS test. How do you feel about it?
I think going into this game, we're going to be coming off a high. I mean, West Georgia football just got named FCS Team of the Week this week, so I think that's really reflective on Coach Joel Taylor and the program. So I'm really looking forward to see how this game is going into this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm pumped. I was a little nervous because Saturday night I turned on ESPN Plus, so Abilene Christian was like in a dogfight against Texas Tech.
Tech.
That one was close, so I'm a little nervous, but I was nervous before the Samford game, and the boys went out there and they got it done.
Right,
so
you know they say if you ain't nervous, you ain't ready.
I know, I'm ready, man. I think they're gonna pull it off.
Let's say after Saturday, where I got absolutely proven wrong, which I love that the Coach Taylor and his team proved me wrong. I have full trust in them. I mean, now we are going the team. You know, they went toe to toe with Texas Tech. I think their quarterback put over 500+ yards, multiple touchdowns. I mean, it's a little scary. But after what I saw and how the way we handled Samford and the way Coach Taylor does things, I'm really trusting these guys this weekend, and I think we can go out there and at least I think we can put a fight up to them. You know what? I think we're going to win it this weekend. I love it. They proved me wrong. I want them to just keep plugging along, man.
See, John, I'm with you 100%. I'm riding with these Wolves the rest of the time. I doubted them once. I will never doubt Joel Taylor and these West Georgia Wolves again. Never. But this week might be the closest I get to doing it. Because when I look at that Abilene Christian team, the way they played against Texas Tech, I couldn't really get a good feel on it. Early in the game, Texas Tech had, I want to say, a 38-17 lead.
32-14.
32-14 lead. Thank you, John. Stats and info over here, guys. Gotta love them. But they came back and made this a ball game. As you see, they lost 52-51 in overtime, and they really could have went to double OT, but they decided to go for 2. They wanted to win. They were in it to win it. When I look at their quarterback, who threw for 506 yards and 3 touchdowns last weekend.
Patrick Mahomes?
And then a wide receiver by the name of Blaine Taylor, who had 7 catches for 141 yards against Texas Tech. I don't really know what to expect now. Because maybe Texas Tech defense was just that bad, or was Abilene Christian's offense just that good? I don't really know what to expect. I don't really know what to think about it because we only have a serving size of 1 week. So we're about to go in there and find out. All I have to say about this Wolves team, Davin Widener and the rest of that offense better come ready to play because Abilene Christian has shown, I don't know if it's Abilene or Abilene, but they've shown they can go out there and score points.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to be ready to score as well.
Well, really going with the trick play at the very beginning to open up the West Georgia Samford game. Man, I couldn't believe that we did that. DB did it. We threw the flea flicker. We threw it downfield. I mean, it was awesome. It set the tone for the game. So hey, we may pop out in the very beginning and just show them a little magic that we did last week and say, hey, we're here to fight with y'all no matter what.
Yeah, we're gonna need a big game from everyone, from Davin Widener, from wide receiver 1, Carmelo wearing that number 1. I mean, we're going to need everybody to show up. Defense, 2 or 3 stops might be all that sets this game apart because, as we know, they can score. So the first team to get 2 or 3 stops somewhere in this game, that can be the team that runs away with it.
Yeah, I mean, Abilene Christian, watching the end of that Texas Tech game, they run the air raid like Mike Leach. They run that thing to a T.
That's
Their
scary.
quarterback knows what he's doing. He knows how to make the reads. So really, our secondary's got to be locked in.
Oh, yeah. Our entire team's got to be ready. Defense, put on high alert because they're going to let it fly. Offense, also be ready because you might be in a track meet.
Yeah.
This is going to be a game. If you don't have ESPN Plus, you need to find a way to jailbreak your Fire Stick, use your auntie's account, find a way to pirate it. You need to do something because you need to have ESPN Plus on either your phone or TV and your derriere in a seat ready to watch this West Georgia versus Abilene Christian game because it's going to be it's going to be a cardiac game. Call them the Cardiac Wolves because this game is going to be a crazy one. But our West Georgia football team isn't the only team that moved up D1. Our volleyball team was actually the first team to get a Division I win for our school last weekend. And this weekend they have another big ticket. What do they have, Carlie, this weekend? 3 games?
Yes, they have the UWG tournament this weekend, and they're actually playing Georgia State on Saturday, so that'll be a really good game to watch because their volleyball program is really good as well. Really looking forward to that. And also, like Richard said, get ESPN Plus and tune into volleyball as well. All athletics will be on there, and you'll also see me sideline reporting on Saturday again, so that'll be super fun.
Telling you, we have an official ESPN sideline reporter not only on our show but representing the University of West Georgia as a whole. You really gonna miss that? Go ahead and get ESPN Plus. Do I have it? I'm working on it, but you need to go ahead and get it too so you can be ready to tune in to all things West Georgia.
Also, another thing to shout out is softball releasing their fall schedule, and it's like, oh, it's a fall schedule, who cares? We're playing teams like Tech, Auburn, and them Dogs, playing all of them away, but I think it's great exposure for the softball team and really just for them to go out there and play.
Yeah, our softball teams can get tested quick.
Yeah,
I know
very
it
much.
was a really up and down season last year. Yeah. Look, if this team ain't all ready to play this season, it could get rough and it could get rough fast. Well, I'm gonna be here supporting, watching some in person, and also watching on ESPN Plus, like I said. But you know what? I think it's about time we play a game.
Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it.
So for those of you long-tenured Sports Pack listeners, every now and again we like to mix it up. We don't just stick to college football and NFL segments. We like to play some games every now and again. So today, we're going to play a game that Brendan thought of last year called Take It or Leave It. Now, I like this game a lot. It's pretty simple. We're going to give you a hot sports take. Maybe some are hot, some are cooler than others. And we're going to go around the table and decide if they want to take it or leave it. Let's go with the first question. The Falcons will win the NFC South. Take it or leave it.
I'm
You got
taking
take
that
it
all day.
around the board and Carlie saying leave it?
Oh,
Carlie, who do you have winning the South?
I have the Tampa Bay Bucks winning.
Oh, brother.
What about the Bucks is drawing you in?
I think Baker Mayfield really poses as a big threat. So, because also, like, you have Kirk Cousins coming in, granted, legendary quarterback. However, if that just doesn't jive very well with the rest of his offensive line, I really think that the Bucs can do it. So we'll see.
Wait, Carlie, are you doubting the Falcons' offensive line? Or are you doubting the Bucs' offensive line right there?
The Bucs' offensive line?
Oh, okay. I thought to say don't doubt the Falcons' offensive line.
She was questioning. She was doubting the Falcons' offensive line though.
I'm not.
But I think I see you took the safe bet. They won a division last year. They were a pretty decent team. What were they, like 9-8? The literal definition of mid in the National Football League. Put up a good fight against the Lions in the playoffs.
But also, that's all the NFC South is mid.
Not this year. Not this year.
Okay.
Them Dirty Birds, I can see them Falcons winning 10, 11, even 12 games. I think they've added enough, bringing in Kirk Cousins. The offensive line's already good. The defense was already really good, borderline top 10. I just think the offense didn't do them any favors. I think the Falcons have done enough to win the division this year. But that's 100%. Just my take. That's why I'm going to take it. Next question. Will Caleb Williams win Offensive Rookie of the Year this year? Take it or leave it. Look, you see I switched mine last minute. So we have 2 taking it and 2 leaving it. Schrader, I'm going to throw it to you first.
I was not expecting that.
If you don't think Caleb Williams is going to win it, then who do you have?
I think it's Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I think it's Marvin Harrison Jr. is like Caleb Williams, I mean, he's probably going to ball out. We saw him in the preseason. He looked really good. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is walking into a system where he's got a pretty talented quarterback, and he's wide receiver 1. And I think he's going to get a bunch of targets. We've seen the ability that Marvin Harrison Jr. has when it comes to catching the football, route running. I just think overall people are going to see his stats, and they're going to be like, that's the guy. I think it's going to be close. I'm not going to doubt Caleb Williams, but I do think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to.
John, you left it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I see the whole point for Caleb, but I'm on the same train with Marvin Harrison Jr., and I'm agreeing with Schrader. It's going to be close no matter what, but it's back to things of him saying wide receiver 1. He's got great talent. We saw what he's done before. I know Caleb's walking into a great team, but it's just a lot to figure out where you got MH Jr. at wide receiver 1. So I'm sticking it with Marvin Harrison.
So both of y'all are taking Marvin Harrison Jr. to win Offensive Rookie of the Year this NFL season.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, Carlie.
I mean, I think ultimately Caleb Williams is going to get it, but keep your eye out for Jaden Daniels. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, Jaden Daniels, sneaky pick. Now, earlier I took it. I'm going to flip it. And I'm going to leave it. And Carlie, I'm surprised you didn't go this direction when you said watch out for – I'm watching out for Bo Nix.
That was my other pick, too. But everybody – all the research I did, everybody ranked him so low.
But you know what that is? That's you not trusting your own team.
I know.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Take a lap.
I should be.
Look, Carlie, take a lap. But look, when I look at Bo Nix, I loved what he did in the preseason. Just precision passing, looked exactly how he did in Oregon.
Great.
Extremely efficient, not afraid to take the check down, can extend plays, get outside the pocket, push the ball downfield when he has to. And let's think back to it in this draft process. Who was everybody comparing Bo Nix to? A more athletic Drew Brees. And who was his head coach? Sean Payton, a man who had insane amounts of success with Drew Brees as his quarterback. I think Bo Nix can win Offensive Rookie of the Year this year just because of how efficient he's going to be. I think their offense is going to be dangerous largely because of Bo Nix's ability to fit in that Sean Payton system. I can see him hitting the ground running immediately and having success throughout his rookie year. I think he's going to have a great campaign. Caleb Williams is too. That's why I was kind of 50-50 on it because Caleb Williams has all those weapons. It could be great. But I think the pairing with Sean Payton and Bo Nix is another short of a match made in heaven. Now, our next question. I know, Schrader, this one's dear to your heart. Do the Florida State Seminoles lose 3 straight games? Let me restructure that. The Florida State Seminoles will lose 3 straight games, falling to the Memphis Tigers this weekend. Take it or leave it.
I sure hope not.
I hope they don't lose to the bye week.
All right, Carlie, you're the only one to take it. Let's go to you first. I know Schrader has a lot to say.
Like I said before, Florida State is a fraud. They're like, I think that's all I have to say.
Schrader?
Yeah. Florida State has played very bad football the last 2 weeks. I thought Tech was a fluke. I thought they were going to come out against Boston College and wipe the floor with them, honestly. But they did not. DJU, I think he forgot how to play football. Mike Norvell did not do a good job play calling. So yeah, I'm scared. I think it's going to be a close game against Memphis. I don't think there's another game on the schedule where I think, well, except for Charleston Southern. But I don't think there's like
Charleston Southern should definitely.
We should definitely kill Charleston Southern. But I think that we're going to be in a lot of any given Saturday kind of games.
Right.
I think this Memphis one's going to be close. If it was in Memphis, I would be a lot more scared. But it's not. It's in Tallahassee, and I think going into a bye week and then having that game, it kind of gives the team a chance to settle down, assess the damage, hopefully either figure something out with DJ or give Brock Glenn a week or two to get ready to start, because I'm not going to lie, I don't know if I can take another quarter of watching DJU try to play football.
That was horrible.
That was so unbelievably bad. And if Norvell can just remember how to play call, I mean, he's an offensive mastermind. You don't get to the level he is.
Mastermind.
Yeah, mastermind. You don't get to the level he is without knowing football, knowing how to call plays. And it's just been awful the last 2 weeks. So if we can fix some of these things, I think we'll be very successful against Memphis. But I don't know. I'm nervous, but I think we'll win it.
I'm correct. Y'all are going into a bye week, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you go into the bye week, you work out all these things, you really look at the potential of Brock Glenn starting there. Obviously, we saw he took over for Jordan Travis last year. Very good production, and you helped win the ACC championship. And really, I was sitting there watching the fourth quarter of that Boston College game, and DJ, you need to be benched. Brock Glenn is the better answer, and really just it's kind of lost right now, but hopefully during this bye week, y'all figure it out, and y'all can hopefully start Brock Glenn and be back to the road you want to be on. So
I'm going to be quick with my reasoning here for leaving it, because we do have one more question we have to get to before our NFL segment. But I think Florida State to find a way to get back on track. I'm not sure Memphis is physical enough to straight up bully them the way Boston College and Georgia Tech did. But then again, I didn't really expect Boston College to bully them the way they did, so who knows. But as of for now, I'm going to leave it. Last question. Let's go quick answers here. And we're going to talk about this later in the show when we make our Super Bowl predictions. Do the Kansas City Chiefs will win their third straight Super Bowl this season? Take it or leave it. We have people leaving it all around the board. John, I'm going to throw it to you first. If not the Chiefs, then who?
Them Texans.
Oh,
and also, statistically, it is very hard to win 3 Super Bowls back to back to back in any sport. It is really hard. So that's really one of my solid reasonings right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think my main reason is just winning 3 straight Super Bowls is near impossible. We don't see it done often at all. I think there's so much talent in the NFL as well this year that I think it's like anyone's Super Bowl this year. So I find it difficult to see the Chiefs winning 3 in a row.
I have to agree. Like, we'll get to our Super Bowl picks later on, but it is very hard to win 3. And I think with a team that has gotten a lot of clout recently because of Taylor Swift and just all these things, like, we'll see how it turns out this season. So,
look, when I look at this Chiefs team, I say no as well. It's hard to pick against Patrick Mahomes at any time. I'm doubting myself right now as I say this. But the AFC is so loaded this year. It was great last year. But now you have the Ravens who are back again with Derrick Henry as their starting running back this year. You have the Bills who are still around. You still have the Dolphins. The Texans had an outstanding offseason. The Bengals are back healthy again, assuming they stay healthy throughout the entire season. Aaron Rodgers is back for the Jets. There are so many teams in the AFC. It's hard to just say the Chiefs are going to win the division, win the conference again, and represent them in the Super Bowl. Nevertheless, win it, for God's sake. I mean, the Eagles are back this year in the NFC. The Lions are still there. The 49ers are trying to show that they can win under Kyle Shanahan. It's hard to just chalk them up as a 3-time Super Bowl champions just because of Mahomes. I think the rest of the AFC has risen to the occasion, and it's going to be a crazy race to the finish line.
100%.
We got to take a quick song break, but stay tuned because when we get back, we're going to talk about this wild week 2 of college football we have brewing for Saturday.
Hey guys, this is Bobby Butler, and you're listening to Sports Pack only on the Wolf Sports.
What's up to all of you tuning in on the YouTube stream? Just want to remind y'all we are indeed a radio station first. So right now, this little awkward pause we're taking, it's a song break. So if you want to listen to the great music that we're playing, got some throwback Kanye on, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and hit the play button in the top right-hand corner of the screen to listen to what we're doing. If you want to listen to music, go ahead, go to that website and listen to the song. If not, we'll be right here in the live chat chatting up with y'all some until the song ends.
Richard, you got me to really save my Super Bowl take right there. I was trying to save it, man.
See, I messed up. I didn't want you to give it away early. I asked the wrong question. But I do want to revisit that same question that we left off on. Because it's hard to pick against the Chiefs. It's hard to pick against Patrick Mahomes.
It is.
It's so easy to say, yeah, they have Mahomes, better receiving core, top 5 defense. They're going to repeat. When you look at the rest of the AFC, it's like, will they really be able to do it again?
Well, the thing is like the way I look at it now is like Mahomes is a new Brady of, don't bet against Brady in the playoffs, don't bet against Mahomes in the playoffs. I've clearly learned that every single time I was on last semester. And so it's just really hard. I mean, but it's just like, can Patrick Mahomes say like, hey, I'm going to prove all you wrong and we're going to go win this thing? Yeah,
the real question for me is, so if they're not going to three-peat, who's going to knock them off? Is it going to be the Ravens? Are they finally going to do it? They might win the game tonight, but this isn't really the game that matters. I'm talking in the postseason. So will it be the Ravens? Will it be this retooled Texans team that has added monsters like Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson to their already stacked up defense? Like, who will it be? Who's going to knock them off?
Well, you heard me with the Texans.
If I was to pick a team right now, I see you like the Texans. I'm not mad at it. C.J. Stroud, loaded receiver room. But I'm going to lean experience here. I'm going to lean with the Jets. If I was to pick one team to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs in the postseason, I think it'd be Aaron Rodgers and those New York Jets. Already loaded defense. Aaron Rodgers, we know what he is. I'd argue he's the greatest quarterback to ever play the game of football. But we'll talk more in our NFL segment. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a second.
This is John Howley, your host of Wolf Sports Network's newest podcast. I'm glad the Falcons fired Arthur Smith. I am also joined by Jackson Schrader.
We gotta first say the vibes in South Beach right now are immaculate.
And along with Jason Barker.
DJ Moore is about to make every fantasy manager who needs 30 points dreams come true tonight.
And together, we are Triple Threat. So make sure to tune in on Mondays to get your week started off right.
Fantastic news for all you West Georgia Wolves out here. The Deli Station is returning to West Commons. Build your sandwich to your liking as you choose from our several bread, meat, and cheese options. More information is located on the Dine West Instagram at Dine_West. Baby, it's college football time. Give me my theme music.
I missed that.
Now look, we have a monster, on paper it's not really a monster college football weekend, but look, it's the greatest sport in the world. It's college football.
Amen.
Every weekend is a monster weekend. Even when Army and Navy play and beat each other to death with sledgehammers every down, it's still a monster college football weekend. I don't care who's playing. I loved week 0 as well. And in this monster weekend, we've got a lot of big-time games to cover. Even if they don't seem big time. Like to a lot of people, this Colorado versus Nebraska game isn't big time. A lot of people look at it and be like, Deion and them are playing, but unranked Nebraska, they should take care of business. But this Nebraska team ain't no joke.
Yeah.
They showed flashes of what they could be last year. Their defense was definitely there last season. But second year under head coach Matt Rule, a guy who is known to rebuild college football programs, the whole Matt Rule thing is, it's a 3-year process. Go have like 1 to 3 wins the first year, 6 to 7 the next, and now 10, 11, 12 wins as he did at Temple and Baylor. And he's trying to do the same thing here at Nebraska. But a lot of people think this could be that traditional Matt Rule year 3 in his second year in Nebraska as he went out and got 5-star quarterback Dylan Raiola. They've been hitting the transfer portal, getting receivers like Isaiah Nayor, who transferred from University of Texas after making his way there from Wyoming. I mean, this is a team that has got some dogs on it, and they can really shake things up this week and put the nation on notice if they were to beat this very talented Colorado team. Schrader, I'm going to throw it to you first. How do you feel about this Colorado and Nebraska matchup this weekend?
I think it's going to be Matt Rule's "we're here" game. I think, I want Colorado to be good because I think it would be so good for the game of college football for that program to just be good with all the media and all the attention that they get. But I watched all of that North Dakota State game.
Yep.
And just about none of it makes me confident that this Colorado team has done anything to improve. I mean, they got lucky time and time again. The play calling was terrible. I mean, Shador, all the talent in the world.
Yep.
Kid is a good ball player. But they got 3 players on offense that they can rely on, and that's about it. Defensively, they weren't strong. North Dakota State, they just ran all over them. And
they did anything they wanted.
Exactly. I mean, they were 4 yards away from winning the game.
Yep.
They caught the Hail Mary. They just weren't in the end zone when they caught it. So I think it's big for Nebraska. It's in Nebraska. I think the Huskers are going to take this one.
Carlie, who you got?
I'm going to have to take Nebraska. I mean, their offensive line really knows how to make ways to get that ball down the field. And also I think they have bigger and stronger receivers than this Colorado team has. And like Jackson was saying, that game against North Dakota State just didn't do it for me. So I'm going to have to go with Nebraska.
Well, I'm going to be looked at differently because I'm going with Colorado. I went back, watched the game. They showed me that they're here to play, and I understand this is a big game for them. And Nebraska is very talented. I cannot deny that they're very talented. But I'm really just going to put my trust in the Colorado offense and Shador, and obviously Travis Hunter has been ball hawking everything, man. He's been crazy. But it's not just because of them two. I mean, it was a dogfight at the end of the day. Deion even reminded the guys, look who you played against. Look at all the things they've succeeded against. You guys still at the end of the day played a really, really good team. So I think it shows that they're more prepared. And, yeah, I'm sticking with Colorado in this one.
Yeah, this is a game I've been very back and forth on. I was impressed with Colorado in some aspects of the game, but others I still have question marks. I can't tell how I should feel about that offensive line yet. There were times where they looked good in that game, and a lot of times where they looked terrible. I can't tell if they've really made those strides. The defense is not there at all. Dylan Raiola and Nebraska are going to have their way with that defense. It's just, will Nebraska's D-line be able to dominate the Colorado offensive line? Because if not, if Shador has time back there, with those weapons, they can compete with just about anybody in the country. But I don't trust that offensive line completely yet, so I'm going to lean Nebraska. I expect Colorado to put up a fight, and I can see a world where Colorado wins this game. But until their offensive line really proves that they've taken that next step, I'm going to lean with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I trust Matt Rule and Dylan Raiola. Look, we got to keep moving. We're a little pressed for time in this segment. I kind of misread it. But look, big game this weekend. Tennessee versus NC State. A lot of people love NC State. A lot of people love Tennessee. I'm going to go ahead and make my pick first. I think Tennessee is going to expose this NC State team. They were not that impressive last weekend. I think Tennessee was very impressive, even though they played food. Shout out Josh Pate. They won against food. They ate food. But I think they're going to go in here and put NC State on notice. Nico Iamaleava is the real deal at quarterback. Go ahead and get used to pronouncing his name. I think Tennessee's going to win by 15 or more.
Yeah, give me Tennessee. NC State started off too slow. Tennessee started off so fast. I think Tennessee's going to win.
Go ahead.
I also have Tennessee. I mean, just their overall depth is going to show that they're the team that came to play.
I say Tennessee as much as, SEC Dogs fan. But I like what Nico said in the press comments. We got to keep the gas going. And it really stuck out to me right there for showing his leadership and for what he's done. So I think Nico's going to, put the pressure on NC State. They'll get the job done.
Yeah, I think Tennessee's really going to flex their muscles here and show how powerful and high profile their offense is. Really big game. Let's go ahead and make sure we get to this one first. Texas versus Michigan in the big house. Up there, Texas is leaving Austin and go take on the team up north. Carlie, how you feeling?
I just don't think that this Michigan team is the same team that won the national championship, and Texas is really on the rise. They're absolutely dominant. I mean, they broke Alabama's winning record, and I think Texas is going to get it done.
Yeah, I say Texas, and I don't think the game's going to be close. It might be close in the first half, but Michigan didn't look impressive at all. Texas really did. So I think Texas is going to win it by a good margin.
I think Texas as well. It's Michigan still figuring out their identity. Not that they have one, but they were having a little trouble with the quarterbacks. And I know they have it's not David anymore. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but it's a different quarterback. And I just think Texas ends up going out there getting the job done with Quinn Ewers.
I think Texas is going to get it done as well. Watch the game within the game. That is the Texas offensive line against that Michigan D-line, because that Michigan defense is still uber talented. I don't know how to feel about that Texas Texas offensive line yet. I feel if they can hold up against Michigan, it's really going to be a sneak peek of how they do against the big-time SEC schools they're going to be facing. I'm going to lean Texas here. I don't think it's going to be as high-scoring as some people expect. Might see a sledgehammer fight. Might see Texas win this game, maybe 27-13, but I'm still going with Texas. Super quick picks on this one. Georgia, now ranked Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets taking on Syracuse Orangemen. Trader, I'll kick it off to you first again. I'm gonna stick with you for this whole segment. Go ahead.
Let's go. I think it's gonna be Georgia Tech. They have a lot of momentum right now, which is not something they've had really ever, or at least in a long time. I think they're gonna walk into Syracuse and get the job done in a close one.
Tech's got momentum, like you said. I'm just gonna go with Tech.
I got Georgia Tech.
Okay, see, look, I'm a Georgia fan. Look, I'm a dog. Look, I'm a dog till I die. So it's hard for me to go with Georgia Tech when all of y'all are going with them. But I think I'm a lean Tech for now, but watch out for Syracuse. Very talented team. Head coach Fran Brown came from the University of Georgia, brought in a very solid recruiting class. Kyle McCord at quarterback has been balling. Good receiver room. Solid defense. I can see this game going either way. I'm going to give the slight lean to Tech because they do have the big-time win against Florida State. They beat Georgia State in the Metro Bowl last weekend. I'm going to roll with Tech, but I wouldn't be surprised if Syracuse found a way to get this done. In the NFL, only one thing matters: chasing a dynasty. Now, we teased the Super Bowl early on in the show when we played Take It or Leave It. We asked if we thought the Kansas City Chiefs would three-peat. Everybody around this table said no. So, my gears got to turn, and I did a little bit of thinking. I was like, you know what? Now that everybody has said they don't think the Chiefs are going to three-peat, we have no idea who's in anybody's Super Bowl, except John. I made him give his away. He said the Texans. So, John, I'm going to go ahead and throw it to you first. If you don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to three-peat, who do you have playing in the big game, and who do you have taking home that coveted Lombardi trophy?
Well, we already know I hinted at the Texans, but you're wondering, where's that other team? It's going to be the Lions from Detroit, man. You know me, I love the Lions with all Dan Campbell's done, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, Penei Sewell. They're paying all their linemen. I just think they get it done. They're bringing a lot of experience in with these guys, especially now they played up to the NFC Championship last year. And I just think it ends up going to a dogfight. And then also bouncing over to the Texans, C.J. Stroud's going to go out there and ball. I mean, he's got arguably almost 4 wide receiver ones. I mean, You don't really say that, but still, he's got a great tight end. He's got great running backs. I just think C.J. Stroud goes out there and does his thing. I know there's inexperience on the defense and everything, but I think they'll end up proving themselves throughout the season. So, yeah, and you know what? Give me Texans taking that Lombardi home.
Texans taking the Lombardi trophy home and C.J. Stroud's second year in the NFL? That would be crazy. That's like that.
Be a cinema, sir.
That's a little homie. That's a little homie.
Hey, I'm full mass for the Texans, all right?
Whoa. Okay, on that note, Carlie, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to you. Who do you have in the Super Bowl this year?
I have the Lions and the Chiefs, with the Lions winning. Like we said earlier, it's really hard to three-peat. I think the Lions had a great run last season. I mean, the continued leadership of head coach Dan Campbell, as well as the return of offensive coordinator Ben Johnson and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. I mean, continuity in football is so important, and I think when you have the continued leadership of these two coordinators, it's going to be really crucial in their success, and I think it's going to take them all the way this year.
I couldn't have said it any better myself. I have the Lions winning the Super Bowl, but I have them beating the Ravens. I do think this is the year Lamar Jackson breaks through and at least gets to the Super Bowl. But I think this Lions team, man, that city's starving. Yeah. They're ready for it.
Yeah.
Well, even
Dan Campbell's Dan Campbell.
The GM said it this year is a Super Bowl or bust. Like, it's make or break.
Yep.
I mean, it's been a long time since any team in Detroit has been like, yeah, we can win it this year. I think the Lions are going to take that, and they're going to go do it.
I love y'all's confidence. I really do.
Who do you got, Richard?
And when I say that, I'm not knocking y'all in any way. I love Dan Campbell and the Lions as well. They should have beat that 49ers team last year. They had, 3 good chances to really win that game and play against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year. Last year should have been it. This year, I have them getting really close again. All day I've been going back and forth on my NFC Championship game because I have my AFC champion. But in the NFC, I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here. I love the Detroit Lions, and I also love the Philadelphia Eagles. The team that really should have beat the Kansas – look, woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Mm-hmm. But the team that really should have beaten the Chiefs a couple years ago in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts fumbled. Yeah, there was a questionable call at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. They lose in an instant classic. But I have one of those teams going back, and just because all 3 of you at this table picked the Lions, I'm going to be a little different. And I'm going to pick the Eagles to represent the NFC in this year's Super Bowl. The addition of Saquon Barkley, I believe Kellen Moore is going to help get this offense back on track. We're going to see Jalen Hurts returning to MVP form behind those 2 monsters at receiver, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, who I think is going to have a crazy year this year. The defense is solid as well. but then when I look at the AFC, so what? We have the Philadelphia Eagles. So now let's look at the AFC picture. There are a lot of good teams. Mm-hmm. The Ravens should have gotten it done last year. I firmly believe last year was the Ravens' year. The AFC is too stacked this year. The Texans, I can see them getting pretty close. The Chiefs, of course, with Patrick Mahomes, is going to be right there in the race. The Bengals, healthy with Joe Burrow, as we see, they're Patrick Mahomes' kryptonite. Joe Burrow, any team he's on is Patrick Mahomes' kryptonite. Mm-hmm. But there's one team y'all aren't accounting for, and I talked about them earlier, led by that man, Aaron Rodgers. I think it's going to be a green Super Bowl this year. I have the Jets versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh. And you know what?
Wow.
I think we are going to have a storybook ending to Aaron Rodgers' career because he's going to win Comeback Player of the Year. He's going to be in the MVP conversation. And behind that elite Jets defense that is already top 5 without an offense there to help them. But with the help from Aaron Rodgers and what is going to be a dominant Jets offense with Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall, a healthy Mike Williams, Garrett Money Mike Wilson, look, that's going to be a team. And the Jets are going to bring home the Lombardi Trophy. And it's going to be a storybook ending to Aaron Rodgers' career as he proves everyone wrong and shows I'm not just a one-hit wonder. I can still win it. But now that I've won it, I'm going to go ahead and step back and retire. I think it's going to be storybook ending, classic Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts is going to ball out, but the Eagles are going to come up short. I got New York Jets winning the Super Bowl this year.
You have shocked me. Oh my goodness, I wasn't even thinking that.
Yeah, I like it. I had to get dramatic for it too. I wanted to cinematic. I wanted y'all to really see it. I had to channel my inner Brendan Willoughby Ray here.
It's one of the picks of all time. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
it'd be awesome.
It is definitely one of the picks of all time.
You know, at the end of the season, I'm gonna pull that clip of what you just said and force you to say one of the greatest picks of all time if it comes to fruition. I can still see the Lions being in that Super Bowl as well, but as long as the Jets win it, I want all the credit. Don't blame me. Blame the players if it doesn't go my way.
So my question is, where do the Chiefs get taken down?
Where do the Chiefs get taken down?
Yeah.
There are a lot of different ways the Chiefs can get taken down this year. I mean,
definitely.
You have the Ravens who are healthy. We're going to see them play against each other tonight. We're actually going to pick that game soon, so stay tuned. I mean, you have the Bengals. Joe Burrow is shown to be Patrick Mahomes is kryptonite. Maybe the Texans, maybe the Jets themselves take them down. They had a really close game against the Chiefs last year just by that defense holding on. So imagine having a really potent offense led by Aaron Rodgers leading the charge. I mean, I see a lot of different places where the Chiefs can slip up, but at the same time, I could also see the Chiefs rising to the top of this dominant AFC behind Patrick Mahomes, a retooled wide receiver room, and what's really, no doubt, a top 5, but arguably a top 3 defense in the NFL. I could honestly see the Chiefs three-peating. I don't think they're going to. I don't want to say they're going to, but if I was to see Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid up there hoisting up the Lombardi Trophy with Taylor Swift blasting in the background,
no thank you,
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, I mean, like, the only reason I don't have the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl is just because a three-peat, like, statistically, it's just insanely hard to do.
Odds?
Exactly.
And I'm sick of seeing those colors in February.
100%. I think, like, would I be surprised? No. But do I think it's going to happen? No.
See, I'm with you 100%. Now, stay tuned because when we get back, we're going to pick tonight's game with the Chiefs and the Ravens, Friday's game in Brazil with the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles, and a few more games that are taking place on Sunday. Stay tuned.
Hey, this is five-time Olympic medalist Alana Myers-Taylor, and you're listening to Sports Pack, only on the Wolf Sports Network.
Chat, what's going on? What's going on? John Halley, your boy up over here. What? Huh? Hey, yo, you want to talk? I'm sorry, sir. I'm
Hit
sorry.
my mic too. What's going on,
Man, what's up, Richard?
Hey,
man.
trying to leave me out of this, man.
No, you didn't say anything. You didn't say anything. My apologies. Anyways, man, it's been a jam-packed episode. I want to say a quick shout out to my dad saying San Francisco is going to win the Super Bowl. Awfully bold pick, Dad. I don't know about that.
You know, I'm not mad at it. I mean, the defense is there. They have the same pieces last year, but I mean, was last year their year to do it? Maybe this year could be the last year of their title window. I'm be honest. I could see the Chiefs and Niners playing each other again. I just don't want to see it again. I can't stomach it. Last year, I wanted the Ravens and the Lions. I mean, I'm with America here. I'm sick of seeing the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers playing in the Super Bowl. I'm ready to see them lose in the playoffs. Like, I'm praying for it.
I'm about to say, like, we've seen what Shanahan can't do. He just can't win a Super Bowl as much as I want Shanahan to win the Super Bowl so bad. I love him deep down. But at the same time, I don't want to hear my sister blasting Taylor Swift because the Chiefs won. I don't want to hear no Taylor Swift bull honky. No Taylor Swift. Like, that's why I'm riding with the Texans. Bring in the great state of Texas. Everything's bigger over there, man. I would just love to see it.
You picking the Texans is mighty bold. Well, really, it's not that bold. I mean, it's just interesting to see.
Yeah.
A second-year quarterback and C.J. Stroud come in and win the Super Bowl. That would be insane. I mean, much like the Joe Burrow run in his second year.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference would be he wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But still, and I think, like, I know we talk about inexperience on defense, but think about it, a lot of those guys did play, you know, in the it was a divisional they got up to. Yeah, they played in the divisional, so they definitely they have the experience there. So, but it is a very, you know, it's a pokey area.
You know what? I trust in head coach DeMeco Ryans. Behind him, I think the sky's the limit for that Texans team. Now, look, we're going to go for a second. Tune in to wolfsportsnetwork.com if you want to hear the music that we're playing on our song breaks. But stay tuned, because when we come back in, 25 seconds, we're picking this weekend's NFL game. Stay tuned.
This is Super Bowl champion quarterback Brad Johnson, and you're listening to Sports Pack on the Wolf Sports Network.
Every Wednesday is Fried Chicken Wednesday here at West Commons at the University of West Georgia. Faculty and staff can now get their own meal plans by visiting westga.edu/dinewest. All dining updates are also available on the Dine West Instagram at UWG_DineWest. Now look, we have a jam-packed week one of the... Matter of fact, can I get a round of applause for the NFL being back? Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to turn on my TV Sunday and hear 7 hours of commercial-free football starts now. Like, I cannot wait. But we do have a very big game tonight. A rematch of the AFC Championship between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. It's going down at Arrowhead at 8:20. I am counting down the seconds to 8:20. Carlie, I'm going to throw it to you first. Do you think the Ravens get their get back in week one, or do the Chiefs put everybody on notice and get a dub week one?
I think still being week one, I mean, you have to go with the Chiefs. I mean, especially being in Arrowhead, you got to go with the Chiefs.
I mean, in Arrowhead last year, the Super Bowl trophy presentation, the banner was dropped and the Lions broke their hearts. I don't think that's happening this year. I think the Chiefs are going to win the first game. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to use the home crowd to their advantage.
Look, I said it earlier. I've learned to not go against Patrick Mahomes, but my heart is just telling me go with the Ravens. Lamar, you're gonna do it. But I'm just stick with the Chiefs on this one. I can't pick against Patrick Mahomes now. It's a kryptonite.
Oh, this is blasphemous. Now, look, I understand. I like the Chiefs. I just gave the Chiefs props during the song break in last segment. I said I could see them three-peating. But I'm not going to sit here and listen to all three of you on this table disrespect Lamar Jackson. Now, look, I might have to pick the Ravens to win the Super Bowl this year or even maybe make the AFC Championship. But I didn't pick them to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year. But we're not going to sit here and act like that man Lamar Jackson didn't just win his second MVP last year. He's got something to prove. I think they're going to come out here week one. They're going to put the world on notice. They're going to show everybody, look, we might have disappointed by not running the ball when we should have last year. But we're going to run it this time with Derrick Henry. We're going to see those RPOs with Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and Zay Flowers. We're going to see a lot Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. I think Rashad Bateman's going to have a big year this year. I think the Ravens are going to get it done. It's going to be a good game, maybe like 27-24, 27-21. Low score, we're going to see great defense and great offense. We're going to see a mix of both. I think the Ravens will get their lick back tonight. And I'm pretty disappointed in y'all, especially you, John. You talk about Lamar a lot. You like Lamar.
Well, here's the thing.
Give me the Ravens.
Hold on. You may or may not just shine a little light on me because, I just said it. I'm sick of Taylor Swift. I'm sick of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but now you're a Swiftie.
No,
John.
I know.
You stay a Swiftie. You want to be a Swiftie.
No, I don't want to be a
Swiftie. We're going to move on to tomorrow night's game.
All right.
Look, John, I'm disappointed. But we have another good game tomorrow night in Brazil, with the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Green Bay Packers, who have a lot of hype behind them because people are loving this new quarterback, Jordan Love. He looked like Aaron Rodgers last year. I like him. I drafted him on my fantasy team. Carlie, you're picking first. Do you like the cheeseheads or them birds out there in Philly?
So I think we really have to take into consideration that they are playing in Brazil. This is the first NFL game in South America, and there's been a lot of talk about a lot of Eagles players not wanting to go. They're not comfortable going. They just don't want to go. And they are the set home team, so they should have played in Philly. But, in Brazil now.
Can you imagine that game in Philly week 1 on a Friday night?
Oh, my goodness.
That would be insane.
The city might burn.
And I think
Freak Mill would have been out there.
And I think that's why these players are so upset. Number one, they don't want to go to Brazil. But also the Packers have traveled before. They've traveled internationally before and played. And I think that's where I'm going to have to give the Packers the advantage because they've played abroad before. They know the feeling and how this works. I think the Eagles are going to be super uncomfortable in this different environment playing internationally, and I think that's what's going to not do it for them. So I got the Packers.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Eagles on this one. Simply because, I just look at the talent that Philadelphia has, and I know that Green Bay has a lot of hype. They just dropped a bag on Jordan Love. But at the same time, I think the Eagles are going to win. I think they're going to their physicality is just going to outmatch the Packers and get them the dub.
See, some people know I am not a fan of Jordan Love, and I don't understand why you gave him that huge contract after half a season of play. I do not like it one bit.
Oh, wow.
I know they have a good
That's
receiver
wild.
core. I know you got a good running back now.
I didn't know that.
But I'm going with the Eagles on this one. I just think they get it done in Brazil. It's just, to me, I think they're just a more complete team. I just don't like Jordan Love's contract. I don't like Jordan Love, and simple as that.
So even after what Jordan Love did in the second half of last season, the crazy playoff run they went on, you're not bought in.
Yeah, especially with the contract. I just don't think he's worth the contract right there.
Wow. So you think, so if he would have done the same thing this season, then he's deserving of the contract?
Yes.
Okay, so I get it. You just need more than a one season's worth of
I
certainty.
need more than a half a season of great play to therefore prove that.
Okay,
It's a toss-up, I understand.
I
but
understand. For the sake of the show, I'll keep moving. I like both teams. I like them a lot. I'm bought in on Jordan Love, as y'all know. I drafted him on my fantasy team. In the 5th or 6th round, yeah, but I still love Jordan Love. He's going to put up great numbers.
Yeah.
He's going to be an MVP finalist this year in my eyes. But I also love the Eagles. As you see, I had them in my NFC Championship, had them in my Super Bowl. This is going to be a classic game no matter which way you slice it. I don't trust the Eagles' defense completely. The Packers have a very young defense. I think they will have some success, but the Eagles are going to be able to score on them with Saquon and those receivers. This is going to be a game that comes down to who has the ball last. I think we're going to see some good defense in splotches, but really great offense all around. Offense travels well, defense doesn't always. But I'm going to go with the Eagles here. I'm going to give them the slight lean just because of talent. Their receiver room, a little more top-heavy, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Bigger names, but even though I know the names on the Packers, I'm 50-50 if you can't tell. But I'm going to roll with the Eagles on this one. Packers are going to make it a ball game. It's going to be a dogfight. I expect the Eagles to win like 36-30 or something crazy like that. It's going to be a really good game this weekend. Now for our next game. My apologies. We have a big game here at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in downtown Atlanta. As the new look, soon-to-be NFC South champion Atlanta Falcons, Carlie, are hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have just announced that Russell Wilson is going to be their starting quarterback for this game. It's a big one. A lot of teams have a lot to prove. High expectations. Eyes will be on the Benz. I guarantee you future will be blasting since Russell Wilson started. Carlie, I'm once again going to throw it to you first. Who do you like in this game?
A little bit of my bias is going to show through, but I have no desire to see Russell Wilson succeed at all. And I don't think he will. I think his time with the Seahawks was enough. And, I really think the Falcons they're a really strong team coming into this year, so I think they're going to get it done in Atlanta.
Like the Falcons a little bit.
Yeah, y'all got to give me a second.
I mean, earlier it seemed like you hated them.
No.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna take the Falcons. I think this team has just continued to just get better. Like, I feel like the offseason for the Falcons has been so much longer than any of the other teams, just because they just keep signing guys. I don't know where we're getting the cap space to do it, but we're just gonna keep signing
just
guys.
Happy to see it.
Russell Wilson today kind of came out that he's having some calf issues again, so they're not necessarily sure that he is starting. And Justin Fields isn't a bad backup quarterback by any means, but if they're unsure about who's at quarterback and the Falcons are 100% sure about who's doing whatever on their squad, I think the Falcons are going to take it.
I mean, it's Falcons all day, and the one man I'm looking so forward to with Raheem Morris as our head coach is Kyle Pitts. You finally have a quarterback that wants to throw to you. Literally, he said it all throughout the summer, and just we hear it all the time. I really think Kyle Pitts will definitely show that game. Jake London will get touches. Bijan and Tyler Algier will be used properly. Man, just give me the Falcons. I'm not saying no score, no landslide, no nothing. Just give me the Falcons.
I'm rolling those Dirty Birds, too. I don't know if I fully trust the Steelers yet. I always trust Mike Tomlin and their team. I love George Pickens. But, I talk a lot about quarterback competitions and how they bring the best out of people. But in this case, if you have two quarterbacks, you have none. I hate that saying. Brendan says it a lot, so I'm going to use it for his team. Because neither of those teams look very impressive in the preseason. The offensive line didn't look great. The running game didn't look great. George Pickens was still doing his thing. He made one freakish catch in the preseason. But outside of him, we know the defense is going to be good. T.J. Watt's going to get it done. Minka Fitzpatrick and those guys, they're gonna rise to the occasion. But I don't trust that Steelers offense yet. And it's crucial that they get going immediately, but still question marks at quarterback. Don't know how to feel about the O-line. And I love this Falcons team.
Yes, sir.
I love the defense.
Yes,
the addition of Matthew Judon is going to pay dividends. That insane safety room. That offense I'm so excited to see. Because with Raheem Morris coming from
the Rams.
Los Angeles, you also have the new Falcons offensive coordinator coming from the Rams as well. This offense is going to look eerily similar to last year's Rams offense that really got going late in the season. Heavy on the run with Bijan and Algier. Open up the play action with Kirk Cousins to Kyle Pitts, to Darnell Mooney, Drake London. I mean, I'm so excited to see this Falcons team. I think they're going to hit the ground running. They're going to face a sturdy test with that Steelers defense, but I think the Falcons are going to find a way to get it done and really give a lot of Falcons fans confidence going into the rest of the season. Now, the last game we're going to talk about tonight, a team that's been covered a lot this offseason. They have the most infamous owner in football. Everyone has an opinion on them. They have a tough game off rip. The Cowboys are playing against the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to reverse the order. John, I'm going to start with you first. How do you feel about this game for the Cowboys?
I mean, it's going to be a good test for the Cowboys, but really, I'm sticking with the Browns on this. Dak is getting old, and I know you have a young star in CD. He's a freakish talent. I love CD. But Dak, you've not proven anything since your first year in the NFL. So I don't like picking the Cowboys. I can't ride with them. So I think Deshaun Watson, the Browns defense gets it done.
Oh, I just really don't like the Cowboys, so I'm going with the Browns, man.
That's fair. Look, no, that's fair. I respect that.
I do
here.
not like the Cowboys. My favorite holiday is watching the Cowboys lose in the playoffs every season.
Oh, it's
it never fails.
Dude, that Packers game last year, chef's kiss.
I'm also going to have to go with the Cleveland Browns. I mean, with a healthy Deshaun Watson as well as the acquired talent of Jerry Jeudy along with Amari Cooper, I think it's going to jive really well, and I see the Browns doing really good this season.
I do too. The Browns are another team I forgot to mention in the AFC that could take down the Chiefs is the Cleveland Browns. We already know they have the best defense in football. There's no doubt. Now, there are a lot of top-tier defenses up there with them, like the Ravens, like the Chiefs, like the Jets. But the Browns have the best defense in football, led by Myles Garrett. I'd argue they also have the best secondary in football, led by Denzel Ward. Ooh. I mean, they have some dogs on that team. And if they can get – now, I feel like I've said this every season since he's been with the Browns. But if Deshaun Watson can be half of what he was his last year in Houston, he was a top 5 quarterback in the league.
And don't forget who they got in that locker room. They got famous Jameis on that sideline, bro.
They got Jameis.
They got
the hype, man.
Now, look, with this team, Amari Cooper's still playing good ball. People don't give him any credit because he's on the Browns. But he balled out last year, especially with Joe Flacco. They went out and signed Elijah Moore. He was on the team last year. They have Jerry Jeudy. Nick Chubb will be back from injury soon. But even without him, they had a good stable with Jerome Ford at running back. I think this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare matchup for the Cowboys immediately.
100%.
CD hasn't played at all during the preseason, barely in training camp. He just came back to the team. He's getting thrown right into the fire against the #1 defense in all of football. I think Deshaun Watson's going to remind a lot of people that he can indeed still play the sport, even without getting a massage before the game. I think they're going to get it done. Deshaun Watson's going to have a pretty good year this year, but the Browns are going to be a really good team and start off 1-0 by taking down Jerry Jones's Dallas Cowboys. The AC went off and it threw my whole vibe off. But you know what? It's cool because that's the show for tonight. I appreciate all of you for tuning in. We will be back Monday at 6 o'clock, same bat time, same bat channel. If you're listening on radio, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and listen in. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, go to Wolf Sports Network on YouTube or Twitch, dial in. Go ahead and leave a like. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. You're here. Might as well hit the subscribe button. It's free. It'll notify you. Look, come on, tap in.
Hit that
we'll be
bell.
back. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. God bless. You are now listening to WSN, Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now an Odyssey station.